Yeah. You are watching the Pan African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want: unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. It's been a while. I think a couple of days off. And I want to thank all of you that have been watching our rebroadcast. King Maponga Joshua is going to be with us in any minute from, not any minute, let's say 10, 15 minutes. I saw Sister Petrine say, King Maponga is always late. No, this time he's not always late. He had a flat tire. And so we were just having a conversation when he was on the road driving to the studio. And he asked one question. Now, Dr. Susan, do you want me to go live in the car, you do those spontaneous things? Or do you want me to just be on audio? Or do you really think that they want to see my face? I said, who doesn't want to see the face of the king, right? Yes, so Maponga is on his way, and we want to talk about very important topic that we kind of like slept a little bit on it. But now, we have to engage in it because we saw this trending video of the cultural secretary of Britain talking about the stolen bronze from Benin, how they just ramble some words. So they always playing around with these things like, we cannot go back to the past, what our ancestors did, right? And so we are saying, what the hell? It's the same thing like us. We'll be saying like, we cannot go back or our ancestors accountable. We are also doing it. We're calling the kings and say, how did it happen that you had to trade off our children, your own people, for sugar, for mirror, for whatever thing they call it, right? And so it's the same thing with our artifacts. Our artifacts, today we still know monarchs on the continent that still just give it like a present, or just to be nice, as we always are. So tonight we want to talk about this very crucial issue and look for a way forward. How are we going to do about stolen? I like to use that word because when we just say our artifacts, it's like somebody came, brought the bags and then they put it in store. No, it was all stolen. The way it is. So before we get King Maponga, I want to find out how all of you have been doing and then just give us some feedback on what has been happening. The first thing, there's nothing really actually breaking, and we're very happy that Africa is calm. Of course, when we say calm, it's like, everything now is going on well. But of course, sure, everything is going on well. We're not getting this kind of crazy breaking news like, or stories that are rising all around that are all focused on the Africans, right? So we are at peace with ourselves. We're at peace on the continent. Yes, small tribal and conflicts in different parts, which is a part of a daily life. Who doesn't have, right? Apart from Africa. So, but when I say nothing is actually happening, it means we don't have to worry right now that there's been a coup d'etat again, or one is coming on the way, or that a sudden incident just happened. But of course, we do have, some concerns, some news. We have monarchs that passed on, like the Sultan, King Bombojoya the third of the Bamum kingdoms in the southern Cameroon, or West Cameroons particularly, and who passed on 2 days ago. And so we'll be bringing some important programs on that. Unfortunately, he's a Muslim, so he's already buried. right? And so before we hear that they transit, we already. But we would like to talk about this monarch because that's one of the paramount kingdoms in the southern in West or Central Africa that is very very essential. So we also would have to get King Maponga's just a small background or information about that because we're going to start launching the UK or the UCA, which is the United Kingdoms of Africa, where all these monarchs would have to come to talk to us. Why? Because when we're talking about the artifacts, how did it really happen? The questions that we need to, was it a kind of an exchange like this Secretary General was talking about, like, oh no, there were treaties that were made between, we cannot be held accountable. And when they asked him that question, now they said it was stolen and the Benin people want this bronze back. And he's like, no, we can lend them. Lend what? Lend things that you still, come on. I mean, how much more can we take, Africa? How much more? Yeah, so we are going to have very, very interesting programs coming up on the Pan African Daily TV. Starting the whole of this week, we're going to be broadcasting live up till Saturday or maybe even onto Sunday. And so we're going to have some new guest speakers, exclusive ones that we've been running after, and they never have had that time to sit in the family with us, but now they are gradually creating time. We already said it that Dr. Elaine, a holistic professional medical doctor, would be our exclusive number one guest on Saturday. You need to listen to her. You need to feel her. She's powerful. I mean, she's just the queen that has been on all the major, when we say major mainstream media, we're not just talking the ones that are reading news or talking about bad things about Africa. No, we're talking about, those ones that the research, they really go into the stories, even though they say it from their own perspective, as we all know. Yeah, so Dr. Elaine has been here with his concept of holistic medicines, holistic, healthy life, the indigenous African art of healing, right? And so it's a wonderful pleasure just to even have him on the Pan African Daily. And you know what? I was so happy when she reached back to us and like, Dr. Susan, I watched the Pan African Daily and I love this program. I love this media. I want to be on it. And so it gives us really that courage and that motivation that if those kind of top voices, African experts, women that are making it out there, whether it's on NBC, they're there, ABC News, and all these powerful platforms are watching us. Wow. So we're doing something very, very great. So yes, we'll be having Dr. Elaine on Saturday. Friday, if we are lucky, I'm just saying, if we are lucky, we're going to have Professor James Small. Why am I saying if we're lucky? I already shared the thank you card that he sent to us because of the knee operation. I mean, he's doing fairly well, but we have to keep an eye on them. We don't want to push them to be here, but he just misses us. He wants to be with us. He wants to share this small journey that he's been through after the passing away of Dr. Roneko. A lot has happened. Yes, a lot has happened, and he wants to share all this with us. So Friday, yes, we will have him. He wants to come, but I'm the one like, I still really need to find out if you ever is okay with Aisha. So we would let you know about that. But of course, that same Friday, we'll be having another new face on the Pan African Daily TV. It's called Dr. Cooper. So you can already research this expert also, and one big number, one of the biggest African voices out there, who also has found time, to create time to be on the Pan African Daily. So it's of the Pan African Daily TV. So we are so thankful and grateful that we're having some new brands and some new faces. Voices are rising up, to say, no, all of us have to put our hands down deep into the continent to find out what's happening. All right. Then this week again, I got in touch with two brothers, one young and one elderly in Tanzania. They're African Americans that, descendants of enslaved people in the Americas that relocated to Tanzania. And his brother has been doing a very incredible project out there. I'm saying this so particular because Tanzania is one of those regions we never talk about, particularly East Africa, right? I mean, we say things about Rwanda, but Namibia. I know we're talking really about issues like reparations and stuff, but we never have, gone down to the basics to find out, are they also, the diaspora, are they looking in the east of Africa? And so I talked to these two brothers, and it was amazing to share with them. One of the elders was actually is also actually a fan of the Pan African Daily TV, and he shared some very, very critical, important aspects that we need to take note of. He talked about, the experience, his experiences as a diaspora on the continent, and he's been there 9 times, and this was his last time, his last trip. And he said, if it doesn't work this time, I'm gone. You know what? Like, no. And when I questioned further, like, what is actually these challenges? And he made us understand, the mindset, the documentation process, following up from one office to the other, and then people swindling from the diaspora. Your own brother that you go to the continent, you think, okay, I built a project and I left it in their hands. After all, they're gonna grow it, they're gonna prosper from it, and then what? And you find out that they've been asking you for money and not providing. And honestly speaking, we've had a lot of these stories coming from West Africa, Ghana, or experiences that people have made. One thing I cannot assure you is that everything is going to be right on the continent. But one thing I can assure you is that we'll make it work. And this elder promised me, and like, you know what, Susan? It's because I am the son of the soil and the spirit is in me. Sometimes I just get angry and I like, oh, I wouldn't go back there. But where would I go to? Right? Where should I go to? And so those are the kind of feedbacks. We'll be having those brothers, not this week, probably next week, because the project is so important. It's so important. We never heard about soya bean, in terms of, we hear about other things, but soya bean farming in Tanzania, and it is yielding, it is exploding, right? And so he's also doing this kind of projects like, guard tours and stuff. And I really found that so important that the diasporans are taking that nerves, the courage, the patience to go back home. And what do they meet? Africans on the continent. I'm asking you, so yes, these are also challenges that we need solutions to. So each time we get this kind of challenge, then we begin to look for solutions. So I would like to get your comment or feedbacks on this. What is it that we can do? How can we now? You see, like, they divided us, but now we're even getting more divided, right? Because we get really, how do I say, disappointed. That shouldn't happen. Of course, I think maybe also can happen. So we have to be patient. So we have a lot of work to do. Are they going to be reintegration programs? We've said this a couple of times in the Pan African Daily, but we can keep talking about it because it's a relevant point. These are relevant issues that we cannot, turn an eye on it. I have the nudge. Are people now like, look at the situation in Haiti? In Haiti, we don't even know what to do. And there is no single voice on the continent that has addressed openly the situation of our brothers and sisters, being treated as what? Being under the bridges, struggling to cross over, carrying babies. What kind of people are these? So, but who's concerned if the leadership on our continent doesn't even have the nerves, to just one thing, just one word, take off your hands, my people. Take your hands off, my people. Where we kept our courage, where our nerves, right? Who is ready to be the next? So yes, we are looking forward to King Maponga. I see he's already kind of like, he's going to be here in a while. And he's like, yeah. So good. These are all things that have been happening around us. But like I said, we are at peace with ourselves for once. I'm not going to come here and cry. Maponga is not going to come here and cry. We're not going to break some other things. Of course, I know that there's news about the ADDI Trade Expo that will be taking place in Ghana. And registrations are already currently going on, you want to partner with the ADDI, you want to, I think, both book a stand. I really have not gotten really the particularities about the expo. In as much as I have it, I'm going to share it with us. Yeah. And so if you can check on their homepage on www.ouraddi.org, right? And we see Mother Mama Africa, Dr. Arikana is putting all the energy to make sure that, for the first time, the ADDI is on the continent to host this very historic event. So just throw an eye. The homepage is very friendly now. It's fresh. You can get more information, and they're responsive. It's not like first time when we just started like, oh, we send news and nobody gets back. No, this time it's current, it's up. Projects are moving on the ADDI. It's a hot place to be for investors. And it's all about the economy, right? And changing. So please give an eye out there. And then on PLO Lumumba Foundation, there's also been, a lot going out there with young people. We saw him actually inaugurated a university in Somaliland. So sometimes people used to think Somaliland, where is that? Is that in Somalia? I also thought so. I also thought so in the past. Yes, Somaliland is coming up, has a population, I think, about 4 million people, and they're establishing, their structures now. They have a Pan-African university, and we also are going to have a very important guest who was interviewed also by Wodemeyer, our brother out there, and so you could see this patchwork, like we say, patchwork countries are actually could exist and function, particularly if they are peaceful with themselves, right? If they can manage themselves and they're not going to be getting any conflict, right? So that brings us to the point of the Southern Cameroons, who are actually mobilizing themselves to celebrate their Independence Day on October 1st. Hey, coincidentally, October 1st is also the German Unification Day here, which is making Germany, I think, 31 years old today into unity. And so the Southern Cameroonians, Amazonians are celebrating on the first Saturday, it's a Friday, right? Yes, on the first, their independence. And the question that I asked when they reach out are like, come on, we want to build a one Africa. That is what we are advocating for. But are we uniting, or we are breaking apart? And you would be really, you would, what I want to say, it would be interesting to know the history. So we're going to get a guest on Thursday. Yeah, Abdul Karim is going to be our guest on Thursday, and we're going to get also two guests that are preparing that event, which is going to take place here in Stuttgart, Germany. I mean, the ones in Europe, because they're mobilizing all over. So why was I saying it? I was saying it because when I saw the example of Somaliland, then I like, why not? Okay. Particularly if they are at peace with themselves and they can manage their economy, they can manage their resources. Somaliland is not even up to 4 million. And Southern Cameroon, Amazon, 10 million, around 10 million or less. But it's already in that package. So yes, there's going to be a lot going on the Pan-African Daily TV this week. And in the coming weeks, we're going to be live. But I want to give also a feedback while we're waiting on King Maponga to join us, because I can't wait for us to break this topic of today. There are a lot of questions in the air. What happened? How did yes, we heard that they were stolen, but then there are monarchs who also free will gave this very important, what even they call the artifacts, which I don't think the spirits of our ancestors is this. And maybe sometimes we keep complaining that we're just weak, and because our ancestors are still rested. They're just not masked. Who said so? If that is just the point, why is it so relevant for 400 years? Not only they've been making monies upon monies in these museums. You know how a ticket costs to go into a museum? And then another aspect that is so important with these artifacts, Africans, sometimes we just think, oh, you go into the museums and like you go to African markets and you see these sculptures. Those are different things. But these ones were spirit. You can imagine the king's stool, the chair, the royal chair. Nobody just sits on it. So why were they so particular? Was to study us through the Spirit, was to learn and to teach their people, their citizens, about us. The museums, you have to consider it is more of an educational platform. It is not just for decorations or for exhibitions. But what are those exhibitions telling us? And so if you take a whole continent, Germany has it. In Berlin, there's a museum that is just, I don't even know those kind of artifacts coming from my own land. The Southern Cameroons, we have, even the Queen Mother chair, Kolngomso, from the air. It's there. It's there. And it's for centuries. Now, you imagine how, even them would know our history without us, because they take it as a center for education. So it's not the education that they put us into classes, do exams, and then you get certificate. Those ones are just blah, blah. Those are illusions. But the real education is where, you study the culture, the ancestry, the archaeology of this people, their mindset through the spirit in them. So it is very crucial. This topic is of essence. It is not just about repatriation or paying or sending back this bronze, like the case in the British Museum. Even in Germany, they already started. France already talked about it. But what is it? What is it that is so important for decades? And he's like, oh, no, we would have to loan them. We can share. Share what? I mean, share? Who shares? Who is talking about sharing? Who knows sharing? To talk sharing? Who knows that word, the way it works, more than an African? So people, just hold on here for King Maponga. He's going to be here, and he has a lot, him, has a lot of solutions what we should be doing with this question of artifacts, because it's all about our culture and our development, our spirituality, our beliefs. I mean, sometimes I think about my whole house is my ancestors everywhere, even where I put my head. And they are there. And you just imagine somebody on me having, it is relevant. We can talk about the insecurity, the food security, the agriculture, the money laundering, the borrowing, the corruption, the bad the leadership, or the need for good governance, and all that. We can talk about youth and unemployment, whatever. But our artifacts is also some of the things. Now you see us tearing, the diaspora actually making it on their own. And these are the ones that are conscious. Connecting back gives you that ability to stay in touch. And so you can be pulled back by your ancestors home. You are protected. The Creator knew why. I keep saying it. If he knew that we didn't need ancestors, we didn't need our mothers, our fathers, so he would have just sat there and just do something else. If he gave them to us, means we have to honor them. We have to respect them. Those values, particularly when they transit to the other world. And then somebody has to collect that. Somebody that doesn't even know, doesn't look like you. Now we ask, do we have this in Africa? No. Now, what is the exchange that we have as a museum, where we have also their images? It's the church, right? And so you see, all this institution is all about education of the mind. And we keep talking about programming the minds. We are brainwashed, 400 years of this trauma, whatever, until we dislocate. And I think particularly this is a responsibility not only of a collective, but individuals. We have to start on our own to liberate ourselves. Did you get that point? We have to start with yourself. Then it could be more easier. And I bet you, try it. I keep saying it, it's like a lullaby. Try it, and you could feel you. You would be you. You would understand where you come from. You will know the person that is in you. And I think that's the reason why you hear Professor Baina Bello, Professor James Small, Professor P.L. Olumumba. Somebody told me you're only having professors, doctors at the Pan African Daily. Is it all just about academics? They're also normal people. No, hello, no. We are voices of the Africans worldwide. And if you've been following our channel, we're not about academics. Yes, of course, we're about experts. And we really told you how we do, how Naisha explained the process of being a guest on the Pan-African Daily. Yes, I also do agree that we actually don't take all the responses because we have to do a due diligence about these people. Some of them that are already professors and doing their work is much easier for us. But if we don't know you, because we know how much more it is to educate ourselves about knowledge that is not relevant or some other kind of knowledge. And so like we just put somebody here that will say something else, all of us will be melting. So please, the unity, the spirituality, the cleansing, the connection to our creator, to our ancestors, to our culture, to whoever, to whatever makes us unique starts with you. If you make some choices, conscious choices, you will not believe it. If we learn to let go some kind of, anger, one, I just take that aspect. You can imagine how much baggage you let it go and you begin to find yourself. That is connectivity. We're going to get again next week because when we watch the number of viewers that watch Kojo Show and even those that kept coming back to us, all the broadcasts, the rebroadcasts that we've been doing this week, I mean, the turnout has even been more than us watching live, right? And then we see people really going deep into this conversation again, like, how did I miss this? And others like, oh, of course I watched it, but I didn't even get it. Because when we're really not just only focused. Very soon we're opening lines, and then the guest is here, and we're all focused attention on other things. So we divide it. So, but imagine when we rebroadcast and you pull back and you know that, all right, I'm not going to call in. So you learn a lot. And so we've had an incredible feedback of people that say, oh, for the first time now I understood. But I've been watching this 2-3 times. So do not hesitate. It's not like we don't have work to do. It's not like, oh, Susan want to take a break, Naisha, Patrick Sarim, and the boys. No. It is like we have to pull back also. We need also our own energy. I need to connect with nature. We need to relax. We need to tank back the energy. And so do you, right? And so, and another aspect is we keep getting a lot of subscribers. And these subscribers are new. And so we need to rebroadcast, because we're not just a mainstream media. We're not entertaining. We are teaching. We are learning from our expert. We are connecting. We are sharing a kind of an energy that is so unique. It is never a coincidence for anybody being on the Pan-African Daily TV. It must be a chosen one to be here. And so if you find yourself in this space, you are already there. Guaranteed. Yeah. So yes, make sure if you are not clicking your notification bells, like because when Naisha load or Patrick upload those videos, we are not going to announce it pre. So you just see we go live. But of course, we do everything to share the flyers, what is coming, even though at some shortest time, because like I said, now we are also learning not to be so generous with our communication. Not to be so generous. I will not be surprised if we don't have Joshua here because of one thing or the other. Someone like him, he has more than 20 phones and lines. And so I get people like you out there always, can you give me Maponga's contact? Can you, oh, Dr. Susan, I want to get to Rutendo. I want to get to Mama Arikana and stuff like that. We're too generous. We're not going to do that kind of sharing of contacts again on the Pan-African Daily TV. We've learned a lot. But then connect to us, get back to us. And we want to also know you. We want to know what is it that you want from them. Because we know ourselves Africans, how we are. It has taken always an African to get to one. Right? So it's not just a doorbell. that will ring. And so I want to ask those that have been asking and requesting, no matter how Nature will respond and tell you the procedures, some people just get offended. Some people just think we're not doing our work. No, we have to protect one another. And apart from that, these are people, or very important people that we have. And one of our objectives is to put an eye on them. And so it's not a one-way source. They're not available. Okay, they're available here on the Pan-African Daily TV, and also a lot of things that they're doing. So what we also talked about, Maponga Joshua and I, was he's going to do an institute for men, and I'm going to do one for women. So each one has to take his own responsibility. So I'll be teaching, when I say I mean, or women, will be teaching about ourselves. What are the things that we should be learning, we should be doing? And he said they're going to be teaching themselves, men, because we've realized that there's something that is just not working. We keep talking like this. We have to go back to the principles of Ma'at. What is the role of a queen? What is my duties? What is what is my contribution? How do I maintain? How do I maintain my space? How do we nurture? How do we motherhood, right? How do we train? So these are all a lot of things. How do we gather? How do we bring a community and put them on the one spot? Those are things that nobody's going to teach us. And so that was a proposal of King Maponga and King Mbongane. Yes, women, I mean, for conscious ones, those that want to develop, that you want to develop yourself. You're conscious of the fact that I need to develop. And I saw the first conference are already going on in South Africa, this men's conference. I already posted some, and it's so marvelous. And sometimes I want to eavesdrop. What is it that they're talking about? Are they just talking about how naughty we are, or how, hey, we are not that? No, but they're talking important things. I mean, you could see some of those quotations. Patrick has been dropping it on Maponga quotes out there. Really, like Maponga is like, they don't owe us anything. Hey, we have to roll our sleeves and work for the queens, right? And so it's like they could not be doing that work and we are not doing. So what I'm just saying is, yes, the Pan-African Women Institute is coming on. We are not saying that it's a gender-based thing. Don't get it wrong. Anything that we say here, we're accountable for it. We want to develop ourselves. Sometimes we need the space that is not infiltrated to tell us, this is how a woman is supposed to be. This is how a mother is supposed to raise a child. This is how, no, we want to find our own, go back to our own roots. How was it? How did we do it? How do we manage the population? How do we gather our children, our men, our people? How do we go to war? Yeah. And so these are all things that we have to teach ourselves. So I'm still putting on my own part. They're already far. They're already far into it. The men are already far. And we saw a lot of organizations that are also networking with the ones in South Africa, and Maponga has really been on this. He's going to tell us a lot. Something also about, the Men's Institute, and the Women's Institute is coming from my part. That's another responsibility. So women, get set, right? Another one thing is when we're going to do it for a period of time, and then we do the exchange, and then we meet together. What have we learned? Something must happen somewhere. It's not only about, we don't have citizens, we don't have this, we can't do this, the leadership is not saying anything. Something has to start with us. Spirituality, learn it every day. Learn how to meditate every day. Learn how to let it go. Learn how to, yes, I know my past, but I know my future. I know where I am today. Let's just learn to do some extraordinary things with ourselves, with our conscience, with our minds, with our soul. What about love? What about unity? What about peace? What about, I'm not talking the kind of peace. I mean, for us, what about healing? What about healing? I spoke to a Queen sister in the UK today. She's watching right now. And we share some passion. It was there. You could see it. It's the kind of language when you're conscious, you speak. And then I was like, imagine we were in this institute just sharing this with thousands of our women. It's a whole lot of liberation to do without carrying placards, without carrying messages to who? That's entertainment. Let's just pull back, do our thing in our corner. How do we want to raise our children? How do we raise our girls child? How do we raise our boy child to complement each other? We have a lot of work to do on ourselves first, before. What is happening with the king? What is happening with the king? Is my king all right? Somebody needs to call. Yeah. Please come and give a call to King Maponga if it's okay. He told us 20 minutes. We're just talking to him. You want me to call and find out, what is it that he's not here? It's getting me worried. Anyway, but he is going to be here, I know, because he's been on the trip the whole week with this Men Institute and conference from one place to the other. And you know what? It's so challenging because we are not easy also to deal with. I mean, when I heard some of the questions, it's a privilege that I'm not a part officially with my face, but King Maponga gave me that access because I also want to know what are the things that they're talking about. We're just curious, but it's incredible how we're developing. Do not feel discouraged. Don't think that we just went back to sleep. Don't think nothing is happening. A lot is happening. Trust what I say. But because you taught us the right things to do, what is it that you told us? We don't be too generous. And we learn exactly that. So it's a lot going on. The men are developing and the women are also putting in their space together. And you know what? And today we can hear words like my king, my queen. These are vocabularies we never did. We never put that press on us. We had never looked at us and looked at space and say, I'm a queen. Share. I'm a queen. And, a kind of a queen that knows what she is, what she wants, how to gather, how to unite, how to move. Not the queens that we say we strip nude and sing some common music and get some awards and think that because I'm just that me, I'm that. No. If you don't do something extraordinary out of the normal, you're not in the 21st decade of the African consciousness. Yeah. And of course, like I talked to with my brothers in Tanzania, and we shared a lot. And I was giving them these tips that I know, like a village girl from the continent. And it was so interesting. And he just listened like, Susan, where were you? Why didn't you bring these things? I would not have been having a problem in Tanzania. I was like, wait a minute. Did you even tell me that you were going there? I didn't even know. So, and we're getting there. This kind of connecting, not just come here, share expertise, knowledge, or this is what we should do, this is what they should not do to us. No, even just this daily conversation, how we react to ourselves. And I begin to tell people these days, sorry for you. I'm so sorry for you if you still think that celibacy has to do with some kind of things that don't unite us spiritually. I'm sorry. Sorry for you if you think that you're just on this planet as an African just to make money, pay bills, and then just do some kind of thing and say, oh, life is too short. My brother, I have to get myself a big house and a car because life is too short. Sorry for you. Because you do, life is short. What makes your livable when I have a purpose. I have work to do. Even the Creator gives you time. He gives you enough time. Like our late Dr. Ronoko, at what age? Yes, he was young, but he gave him a journey. He went to more than how many countries. So when you are doing something useful and for your people, and you have that work, that task to do, your ancestors give you that time. But if you're just here mellowing, and just cruising and just doing some kind of things that you don't even know, and then they'll say, you know what, you're tired, please come home. Come home. Yeah. So what am I saying? I'm just saying there's a lot going on between us. Show me one people that are united. It is the African. Tell me the most people that are connected. It is the African. Show me those people that have uniqueness. It is the African. Show me those people that can relate with one another without even seeing each other and they feel each other. It is the African. So we have to stop all this. We're not united. The only thing that we're talking about our unity is that we need to start knowing how we work together. We've been disconnected physically, but our ancestors never gave us up in connecting and putting those pieces together. Are we okay on that? They never gave up on us for no single time. I wouldn't be sitting here. You wouldn't be watching. You won't be doing what you're doing, living all your works, being on the afternoon out there in America or evenings here in Europe or on the continent somewhere, midnight or even in Asia. And all of you are watching. And do you think we're doing it by our power? Do you even think for 1 second that it's because we love doing it? Sorry for you. It is because you're called to do it, like it or not. I'm just so sorry to tell you that. I don't have any better answer. I was talking to King Maponga. He's like, oh, Susan, I have to drop and I have a flat tire and I'm waiting on the highway. And I said, thank you. Sorry, I don't have an answer for you. It's your work. Sorry, my king. I also have to make sure I take care of the boys. I do errands. I meet the community. And then I come and sit here and talk. Sorry. Blame him. Blame the creator. Blame your forefathers. So I'm just saying, do not get discouraged. Don't think we are useless. Don't think we must do some kind of things the way the world do it for us to feel useful. Don't think in my little community, I've told you time and times again, just representing colored is already a responsibility to the African. Because once you pass, there's always going to be an eye that will look at you. There's always going to be a uniformed person that will ask you what you're doing here. There's always going to be somebody that's going to sight your car. But also there's going to be somebody that will say hello because of your gum teeth, your kinky hair, your smiley. Anyway, you just are. So being in this space is already too much that we are offering one another. Okay? Being in this space is already too sweet. And so we can't always think, we don't have political agendas, or we don't, until we do things differently, until we don't even give a damn about them. Until I saw a lot of brothers, calling, reaching out to the refugees from Haiti, taking them home. That is what I want to see on the continent. Those that are rushing to take home the diaspora, offer them places. We are people. Where do we even come with that idea? Who taught us that? Like my role model, Malcolm X said, who taught you? Who taught you I want to go home to my origins, to my family, to my roots? Did your fathers, when they were taken and enslaved, didn't own lands? Where did they take them from? Trees? Did you not have a sibling and a family? And we go and say, oh no, I do my blood test, I do my DNA, my first auntie come from this. You don't have a family? We're not thinking about it. Where are you going to? Are you a stranger? Are you a Chinese? Are you a European? That you need land, you need hotel, you need this. Some things we're doing wrong. Let's be factual about it. Some things we're still in this idea. I need land, then I'll go and stay in a hotel, and then I go and I develop the land, and then I put my business there, and then I expect because I'm a diaspora, I'm coming, and then, I'm going home. Who's going to pick me from the airport? Somebody's going to be there. Who's going to host me? If you don't pipe down your standard that, oh, I wouldn't want to do the African toilet, then we're good to go. You're home. Fit ourselves into families first. Learn each other. Learn to just say, my family came from Limbe, from the southern region of Cameroon, where the slaves were taken through the Bimbia. Yeah? I don't care who I go there and I say a father and a mother. It's mine. My family came from here. So some things we can facilitate them, and that's what we're working on. right? We're walking, we talk with those brothers in Tanzania, we talk also with those in Ghana, we talk those in Ethiopia. You know, we're going to be having our correspondents, as you know, and our embassies all in the four corners, plus the diaspora. But I'm not putting us here because I know each and every one out here belongs to a family back home. So it's even insane sometimes when we say the seed region. Is that a country of people? Because it's a siblings of people out there that have their relatives. Then those relatives, where they, before they took their parents, their land. So these are also questions that we want King Maponga and the Embo Kingdom and the UKA to look into those things. Why must they buy? And then got swindled. Are they Chinese people? Or they are our brothers and sisters? But like I said, we can start doing it on a one-on-one, you and me. I want to go to Cameroon, then I have to call a relative in Cameroon. There's a brother and a sister that is coming. And we always have space, right? But imagine now you come, you go into a hotel because we're the hotel, and then they look at you as a tourist. And then you want to behave like, I want to get mingle. We have to mingle. Remember, our dating side is coming. It's not dating, a family marriage. That's also one thing that the Men Institute will be doing, the Women Institute will be doing, and all those are packages on that. Mingle, have children, marry, and to marry one another. There's no better way for us to get connected again, for us to mingle our DNAs, the originals and the non-originals, detoxing. Yeah, we have to detox a lot. God, where is King Maponga? Wait a minute, please give me a second. Maybe I'm talking here and something is going wrong and we don't know. This is becoming strange. This is really becoming strange. Please hold on. I know I see a lot of people that already have been asking questions here in the chat. Did he sleep off? What happened? Or was he telling me 20 minutes or 30 minutes the African time? And this is also something you, the diaspora. My king. Hello?
Hello.
What happened? Are you slept?
I've just arrived at home here.
Okay. All right. We are all waiting. I've been sitting on your chair. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So you heard it. So I'm not just talking. He is there. He just arrived home, and you can imagine. So we're so grateful. I hope I didn't disappoint you a lot. I hope I could keep you waiting. And that's one particular thing that is very unique about the Pan African Daily. Imagine we were a mainstream media. Just imagine, just only dream about we were a mainstream media and we had sent questions to King Maponga and passionate, even what he has to say, you shouldn't say this, and Dr. Susan, you shouldn't ask this, some of those things that make us feel uncomfortable. And then he doesn't show up. Then he doesn't show up because he has a tire puncture or his internet is not working. Hey, but that's the unique thing about the Pan-African Daily TV. If we want to have a guest and the guest is not available, then we have to get a guest. And if the guest is Susan, it doesn't matter how much you hate seeing me and hearing me, but we have a guest. So because why I'm saying so, we always have something. The African is given everything on earth. Which kind of creator, this creator created, or people like Africans that have everything? And we wonder why the world will not leave us be, even our continent, even for decades. And we keep thinking they hate us. No, they want to be like us. And they were not given that portion that you were blessed, given everything. Can you imagine a people that is given gold, diamond, platinum, everything, natural, everything, rivers, tell me, and then color. Who on earth is that? If you are not a king, you are not a queen, you are not a princess, you are not a goddess, who are you, for God's sake? Who are you? That's the reason I said it starts with us. I did it on myself. And I can tell you, I feel like I fly. The world is beneath my feet. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just in love with myself, with my people, with my family, with the kings, with the queens, with my in mine. You can imagine how explosive we are when we just let go. You have to start. Nobody is going to unite us. I mean, the kind of spiritual connection. It takes you, just you. You just need to sit down, think a minute, and say, I want to be me. You know, like this, when there's a will, that's the way. You're going to be you. Drink a lot of water, relax, do some of those things that you're not obliged to do. That's the difference. Don't do things that are functional. I need to get up at 6. So you look at, why must I get up at 6? I could get up maybe at 5. I could get up at 7, but why must I get up at 6? So is there somebody, invisible hand, that is telling me you need to get up at 6? Your clock rings, poop, you jump, you function, you just go and you just pray the whole day. You come back tired, weird, and that, and at the end of the month. So when you think and ask questions, critical thinking, why must I get up at 6? Then you start thinking, all right, I could get an alternative. Could do something about myself that, and I choose to get up at 5, or I choose to get up at 8 or at 10, whatever. Why must I eat some particular thing from a canteen, from something that I don't even know what it's in? Because I have to be in this structure. Why must I be under some kind of conditions? Think African. Think. Ask these questions, and you would see that you start creating. And that's why we say we're creators. You start creating. You start refusing. The first thing, refuse. Refuse the normal. That's the tips I can give to you. Say, from today, I'm not going to do this. Enough. And before you know it, you're going to do something else that you want. Is it a passion that you want? You're going to do the abnormal, right? You're going to go into that space where you define what happens with you. What you eat, how you eat, with whom you talk, with how you relate, how you want to do what. That's freedom. That's unity. That's liberation. And we're waiting that some people sitting up there, ministers ministering resources and stuff like that, it's going to give you that unity. It's going to give you that freedom. Even when you carry those placards, even when we say, oh no, we need security guns. And I keep telling people, that's too cheap. That is too cheap. Yes. They taught us that the robots or the this. And I was talking with Tumi Tata, and Tumi told me, Mom, do you know that we're already functioning on this planet with some other thing? And we keep saying aliens, and we see other human forms, but we're not seeing other. And I was like, tell me more. And it's like, now you want to sign in into something. Are you a robot? It was, first of all, are you a robot or a person? And so all this algorithm, and you say, no, I'm not a robot, and they let you in. But now we're having some other challenging one, with artificial intelligence or whatever. Are you an animal? Because something is coming up, it's boiling up, where they now is not only cloning animals that are different, they want to even start cloning people and animals or something. Or what is it? Like, why do I want to sign into thing? Are you a human? Are you an animal? Are you a robot? So we're already functioning already in this space, but we're still not conscious of it. And what we do is, when you refuse these things, like I said, why should I get up at this time? Why must I be in this uniform I'm sweating? Why must, when the bell rings, something is there? Why must I always look at the time? Our ancestors never had a clock. They just look at the moon when Maponga is going to tell us in a minute how we all, hey, I know that growing in the village with my mom, never went to school, but she knew when it was 5 o'clock. When we went to the farms, she knew when it was 12 o'clock. And she just looked at the moon and said, oh, now it's 12 o'clock. And very soon we will be going down because the hills, because it's going to be dark. Can you imagine? What kind of scientist? And then they tell you, oh, because you don't have a degree, you don't have this, you don't have, titles on you, you're not man enough, you're not woman enough, you're not human enough. Think differently. They did it. Belt pyramids. Where did we see some professor, doctor, blah blah? Of course, I'm not against titles. I have my own, and that was given to me by you people. That's the best title you can have in the world. When your people honor your work and they recognize you. Today, I'm the Queen of Embo Kingdom, proudly. Dr. Susan, honorary doctor in humanities. Maponga has it. That is what I call a gift when your people give it. It's not going to sit in any institution. Then I say, I have it. Everybody can do it. I would have done it. Sat there and crammed some things that don't even resemble you. Learned some theories that only everything that we're saying. And then we wonder, let's just go back, people. Let's just go back, being us, not minding what they say, not thinking what will they say about, not trying to be civilized in the kind of civilization. Because your ancestors were civilized thousands of years ago. They knew how to bathe. They knew how to keep a family, how to unite, how to rule a clan. They knew how to respect the queens. They worked. And we were all. Today we say, oh, there's nudity. And somebody's like, oh, you wear short skirt. Oh, you wear this. Did we need that in ancient Africa? We put just leaves because our body was the sun. Look at how we dressed in those days. And now somebody came and told us, you have to close your hair, you have to pull your thing. And then you see some other person, oh, look at how he's dressed. What's wrong with your body? Look at the way our queens and our kings, like I said, of course, we're not going to be like the Tarzans that they show us today. But I just want to say, because they never had any intentions, they never would look at the queen and see something else. They just saw royalty. They saw love. They saw harmony. They saw impeccable beauty, smile, kinky, whatever. They saw everything that is human, is creator. They saw it. Today, because of all this, learning all this, oh, we have to be civilized. Oh, if you're a woman and you don't tie your hair, you're not woman enough. Who taught you that? Borrow the words of Malcolm X. Who taught you to hate the color of your skin and your hair? Who taught you that you look like that your nose is mine, and that you're ugly? Who taught you that? Yeah, so that is it. That's the way it is. And honestly speaking, don't be apologizing for things that you shouldn't, even for things that people are just admiring you for, things that people wish they could be you, for things that people look and admire. Just imagine. And today we start entering some kind of, oh, polygamy, oh, this, oh, that was not a way of life. What is that? Oh, no. I need to have some other places where people do some other business, and then that is normal. That's not us. We never knew that. I knew. I'm not going to say that here. I better keep that. When the king comes here, he could slap my mouth for saying that. Anyway, what I'm just saying is, we need to start with ourselves. Every little thing that every African does is a step forward to us as a global people existing on the space. Whether we're minding our business, but we have a spirit that we are here for a purpose. If you are to volunteer, do it with passion and don't put money. If you are the money type, do business. That's something also. If you are the business type, do business. That's why we put the sectors: economy, development, go. If you are the passionate type, the spiritual type, the connectivity type, that's not you. Look at all of them, all our liberators. Most of them were contribute. Malcolm X, Patrice Lumumba. Do you see them owning some bungalows and some things? They were busy about the people, the souls. They were not busy trying to grab some land here, try to ride some limousines, or try to look at all that trash. Look at Mumbutu Sese Seko. Look at all those ruins. If you see our ruins. So probably if you are not a business person, don't come to me on the Pan-African Daily and let's be doing our thing. Let's empower one another. Let's inspire one another. Let's put a smile on someone. Let's just take up the load of someone and let them relax. We're happy being housewives and cooking, taking care of the community. And that's a whole full-time pride and a job. Who tells you I want to build a house myself because I want to prove I'm a woman? No. In ancient Africa, in the village where I grew up, my father did all that, my mother not. But my mother had her own too. That was so, so important. And she raised a whole family. And so bridges and those kind of hard works. So where did we come from now? Are we so masculine because we have to do this? Yes, because I have to do this because of the. Some things are not for us. Queens, relax. Let the kings do them. But they have to give us a lot. We're just there, like Maponga said, we're just there for them to love us. Just love us. Nothing more. Maponga said the creator did not create them in the men's conference. He told his men, he didn't create them to love you, but he created you and you have a mandatory to love and provide for them. Wow. I share. I know a lot of men in those conferences was like, wait a minute. So all these pay bills, this. We break our families, we break ourselves, we break our love, we disconnect and we keep wondering and we keep thinking something is chasing us. No, let's just go back, do our own things. Yes, if I'm the one that I'm good at this, I do it and I enjoy it and I love doing it. And I do your own. What is wrong in it? What is it? Oh my God, where's the king again? Johnny Boy, thank you for being here. Anna Loom, thank you for being here. Overham, thank you. David Collins, Soto Warrior, thank you. Sanovia, my queen. Riley, thank you. Thank you for being here. I see you always carrying your water jar and your pot on your head. Yeah. Thank you. Patrick Awar, I see you. Stephen, I can see all of you. Right. I think something is coming in there from King Maponga. Let me see what's happening. Okay. This is strange. Yeah. He's normally he should be granted access, but as I can see from here, he's struggling. What is happening? If he comes to the studio, is open. Right. We're gonna have you, don't worry.
Hello.
What is the problem?
I've been waiting at the door there. Someone must allow me in. The machine is not getting me in.
I sure you should be allowed, except maybe we'll have to take a break, cut the stream, let you in, and then we go back live. Is that okay? I'm talking to the audience.
Tell your producer there just to tell your producer to look on the someone at the gate, just in this, behind the studio. They say I'm in the lobby.
Yeah, of course. Then we should have seen you. There's just something that's not acting up. The lobby is open. Everything is clear. Nobody's there. Click again. Let's see. Joshua, click again. I just resent.
Okay.
Just click again. Let me see. It's strange. Yeah, if not, please, you would just have to give us 2 seconds. Let us read, but we're going to generate another stream, so you have to hold on. If not, if it doesn't succeed, but it's really strange, nothing is happening, except they don't want him here. We know that. Let's just be patient, and I hope we're going to enjoy the evening. I mean, we've missed each other, right? You've missed him, I've missed you, and we've been rebroadcasting, and so we can even do the three the 3-4 hours like we used to do in the beginning. You're walking, put on your headset if you disturb, so that you get the audio. If you are in a place where you can watch us, or just put it on like I will be on again, so you can watch the broadcast again. You know what, let me just do something very simple. Let's cut the stream, regenerate another link for him, because this is weird. Okay, so give us 2 minutes or 5 minutes. Anyway, you're already subscribed and your notification bell, so you'll be here. So let's call this was another show, and then we do another production right now. Thank you so very much. Let's just do that. Okay.